clearly this is Canine. I know it doesn't look anything like me, but this is Canine. I'm in a new game called Assassin's Creed. It came out last year, but it's new for me. I've been watching its progress on the game. Gosh, I don't remember what it's called. On the service that I'm on, and watching its progress, and finally broke down and actually bought it over just before the weekend. And that was 3 days ago. Enough said. I've now put almost, and that gets from the soundtrack, that wasn't me, that I almost put 60 hours into this thing in the past 3.5, 4 days. I lost a weekend to it. It is very, very deep. And the thing that I like about it, in fact, that's what this video is about. I'm going to show you what I like about it. So, first of all, we'll get back to the fact that this guy enjoys falconry here in a little bit. Let me show you the interface here. This is your inventory. You come in here and you see what your supplies are. Now, they call these crafting supplies. They're not. They're actually upgrade supplies, and you don't actually have a crafting skill tree or anything like that in this game. You have supplies that you need to upgrade your gear, and that's as complex as it gets. And I'll show you how that works here in a second. You've got several different bow variations that you can use, as well as assassin type tools, including smoke screens, which can also do damage if you set it up that way, fire bombs, and sleep darts. And these are things that are all quest driven. The thing about this game that I have not checked out yet at all are these things, and these are almost like treasure maps. So east of Crocodilopolis, south of the pyramid, a large beast god stares angrily at the pharaoh, who shows him no respect. I'm hidden behind the blasphemer's head, whatever that is. But it gives you clues as to where it's at. I haven't checked that out yet, but I find that intriguing. So let's first take a look at the world that you're in. And those of you who've watched my stuff before know that I have some harsh criticisms on Sniper Elite 4. Even though I enjoy the game, I think it's a good game, I didn't think it was big enough. I gotta tell you, for the same money I paid for Assassin's Creed, wow, this is just stupendously developed. Congrats to Ubisoft, they really did a nice job. Look at this map. This is the world, the seamless, no load screen, massive world. This is one island that I can get across, in fact, you know, from here to here before you run into the water, in probably about a minute. Okay, but I'm going to just zoom out here and show you just how huge this map is. This actually takes place on the Nile Delta. Okay, so I'm zoomed out as far as I can, and this is the Nile Delta that feeds into the Mediterranean. I think it's Mediterranean up there on the north coast of Africa. My people were from Italy. I should know something about the Mediterranean. But this is how large this place is, and where the heck? Oh, we were in Philadelphia, which was here. We started out up on Lake Mariotis, level 6 to 8. You can see where that is. Worked our way around this rim, came down in here, quested all the way down this way, and ended up way down here. And this has just been a journey, depth of story. It took a little getting used to. The combat system really took some getting used to. Some of you guys that play other games and play a lot of them might have just dropped right into it. I understand that the combat system is very different from previous versions of Assassin's Creed. As I listened to a video of one of the developers talk about how the updates were going to work here in the new version here in 2017 version anyway, how it was going to work, the combat system, and it took a little getting used to. It was not intuitive. And they didn't really have a training system. They threw you in the ring with a guy who basically schooled you by the school of hard knocks and kicked your butt, but I didn't learn a whole lot from that. I learned a lot more later on. Let me show you the gear page, as if gear was important. Basically, I've got, from what I can see, the top tier gear here, which is the gold, and the reason I figured that out, or can confirm that, is this has been all the way upgraded, and this is the bracer on my left arm, which boosts your range damage for both your A and B bow. Okay, A bow, B bow. And then this one is your melee damage, which I've almost gotten up there. But things that are this color are normal weapons. Things that are purple are upgraded. Things that are gold are some of the top tier stuff. And if you're wondering which version of the game to buy, the normal version is like $59.95 on Steam. That was the service I was thinking of. But I got the one that was a $10 upgrade, and what you get for that is you get this weapon, which is bleeding on hit, critical hit damage, and poison on hit, the double whammy of a dot. Expensive to upgrade, took me a while to do it, but definitely worth the money. You get that, you get a shield. Let me see if I can find that shield. This, which has some nice things on it too, when you can block, which took me a while to figure out how to do. The guy takes poison damage, plus your blade does poison damage and bleeding. Really gives you a fighting chance. I haven't upgraded this for a while because what I found, what I looted and I found that I liked was ranged resistance. The fact that guys, when you're chasing down guys, they tend to fire arrows at you. Everybody's a warrior. Everybody's a bit of an assassin. Everybody is an archer. So, you know, at range distance, they're likely to pull out a bow and start firing at you, and they're good. They hit you, and it hurts. So, I like the added range resistance on this one. You might be good enough to actually just avoid the arrows. These are darts. I acquired these recently. And basically you can come in here and you have the ability of going A bow or B bow and switching them on the fly. So you have two of them loaded for different purposes. This is a mace I have loaded, which does adrenaline, which I'll explain here in a bit, and also can put the subjects of your blunt force trauma to sleep, which when you're riding around trying to enact a group of people, that comes in handy. It just cuts down on the stuff you're trying to live through. So that's your page. And if I wanted to change this, from this is a oh golly, that's a what do they call it? Predator bow. Long distance, high damage, very slow. This is a hunter bow. Medium damage, medium reloadability and charging, which means to pull back on the bowstring to charge it. So the charging speed is actually pretty good on it and is upgradable. As you can see, those four little ticks to the left of the nomenclature on the bow itself in the description window. But not everything comes with that stuff. All right, so to get 3 abilities on a bow is actually really good, and 2 of them which are upgradable. And you can, if I wanted to change the purpose of my bow, I find that the hunter bow does the highest damage, can one-shot a lot of the guys that you just want to drop and be done with. And then light bows are high recyclability. You can fire bow after bow after bow, but it's lower damage, much lower damage. And then warrior bows actually fire several shots at a time, good for up close and personal, really high damage groups. I tend not to use this one. I tend not to use that one. When I was in boot camp, I shot 10 out of 10 at the 500-yard line with a Vietnam-era M16, which of course is what we trained with when we went through basic training. And that was on iron sights. That was before we were using any kind of optics or anything like that. That was just a iron sight thing, 10 out of 10. So long distance, if I see it coming, you're a dead man. And I kind of like that idea. I don't want you to know I'm coming. So I tend to like the medium medium range high damage and the long range really high damage. And then if you want to come back here to look at this and just to look at what we got here, I've been out fighting things and looting things, and I basically have 6 blades that I have not looked at. And before we went through the bows, I got a bunch of bows, but as soon as I come in here, it says you've got 6 items that you can either choose from or go and sell for cash, which I need at the moment. But I look in here and it tells me I haven't looked at this, and I can come down here and flip through this. I haven't looked at that, haven't looked at that. That's kind of cool. Hadn't looked at the stats on that scepter, and then this thing is the notice is gone again. Okay, so I'll come in here and I'll probably sell that for cash, and then I tend not to hold on to more than one item. See, in the sickle swords, I've got 2 to choose from. One was the thing that I bought in the upgrade pack for $10. You get the I should have finished that thought. The sword, you get the shield, and you get a mount, and the mount is really cool. If you're starting the game for an extra $10, I think it's absolutely worth it just for those 3 items, because in this game you don't outlive the level of these weapons. You can take it to a blacksmith and say upgrade it to my current level, and it comes up to level 31. I was issued it at level 1, but as you upgrade it, it gets more powerful and more powerful and more powerful and more powerful, which is really cool. Okay, so we went into, let's see, we're into gear. Here's your skill tree. Skill tree is fairly simple. You get 1 ability point per level. I've spent 34 points, I think. Yeah, and this is the archers area, and it has, you know, really interesting things. The last thing I added was the fact that when you fire a shot, you get a 3-second window of slow-mo to focus on the next guy you're going to take down, which is kind of cool. And this one is as soon as you jump off something, you enter slow-mo so you can attack on the way down. Really kind of cool. And then every point you put into this gives you 1 point bonus, and every section has that 1 point bonus for as many points I think as you can put in there. It can be acquired multiple times. And then this one is more or less what I call assassin skills. This is where you get your firebomb, your smoke bomb. How you get your smoke bomb, it also does damage and fire damage and stuff like that. And you can also tame a pet, which is, I thought was kind of cool. So really cool stuff in here. But when you get into the world, they give you this thing called, what you have here is a eagle, and when you hit your V key, it takes off and gives you eyes in the sky. Check this out. And now you're the eagle and you can fly around. You can look at stuff. Interesting. Let me go up to a higher elevation so I can see farther around. Took me a while to figure out how to use this, but as you can see, he is perceptive as to what stuff is being carried by these guys down here. Okay, well, if I need cedar, I know where to find it. Okay, not everything, it's not always as easy to find stuff. It's not as always, what am I trying to say? Materials aren't always this dense. You look around this this area, and it seems as if materials are easy to come by, and that's not always the case. That diamond out there in the distance, right there, in the middle of the screen, is my next objective for what's in the upper left-hand corner. You basically track one quest at a time, and you're free to change that at any time, but you track one at a time. So there I am, the blue triangle, right down on the bottom. And if I wanted to see what these guys were, let's say I needed bronze, and I wanted to see what this guy was, I'd come down here, I'd hold my right mouse button, and I'd focus on this guy, and it would tell me his level, how many bronze he's carrying over on the right hand side of the screen, and I basically get to highlight this entire area. So I send the hawk up, I send the eagle up, and if I want to go take down this base, or a base, it will allow me to figure out what the targets are, where the targets are. There we go. Before I have to go in. So I won't spend too much time on that. I'll fly back over here and hit my V key again. And bring my perception back here. So that is a cool aspect of the game. The animations is what I had a hard time getting used to. I was used to a much more direct control over what the character was doing. But if I want to turn the horse around, I hit my A key, and it does an animation, and I have to wait for that animation, which I'm not used to. I don't know if you can cancel animations in this game. For some of you higher level players, that's important, but I haven't figured that out yet. But the horse is cool, and let me show you this. If you want to get off the horse, you hold down your E key and you dismount. Okay? And come over here and you go, hold your Q key and you call the horse, and it comes to you, and you can actually jump on while he's running past. I mean, the amount of thought that they put into, well, how's he going to jump off, like this? How's he going to get back on, in this area? They animated all kinds of different things so that it really looks seamlessly. You don't, like in some games, have a horse when you want your horse just pop out of your ass, and all of a sudden you're standing on top, you're sitting on top of him. It's actually animated, so it looks like you're going to walk up to your horse and get on. I mean, I don't know how hard that is to do and how much time that takes, but the immersiveness level of what that does for you as far as immersiveness and role-playing is just fantastic. So let me show you a couple other things I like about the game, and then maybe some battle, and see if I can embarrass myself. How's that sound? Show you how nice they made boating. I found it unbelievable how nice running around out on the lake is. Okay, there's a boat for us. We're going to borrow that one. So I'm going to get off my horse because I can pretty much call him from anywhere, which is key to realize. You get to a different location, hit your Q key, and your horse magically appears, which is less than immersive. And I mount the boat just like I mount the horse with the E key. And I hit forward, it's WASD for forward, left, right, and backwards. And again, the animations are really cool. And look at the water. You can actually see the light coming through the waves that I'm creating in the wake. Well done. And there's stuff floating around the water. That looks like a gator. And of course they found me. I'm going to go back and get some pelts. So you right mouse button, draw, charge it with the left mouse button, wait till you get the readout you want, and then you let go and it fires. And he's dead. And whoop. I'm actually controlling the boat and slowing down while we're doing this. Okay, zipped past it, hit my E key, and I got a pelt. Alright, so check this out. I can go a little faster, hitting my boost, which is my space bar. And let's see if I can find you. Ooh, alligator and hippo going at it. Alligator won. I guess it's a crocodile. This is one of the more fun parts of the game. It's just being a pirate out here. You can borrow a boat. Let me just hit something. It's one of the faster ways to get around if you're gonna be immersive and do the RPG thing. One of the faster ways to get around the map is via sea. And you can carry somebody on your boat, and you can carry somebody on your horseback. One of those things I wish somebody would have programmed a way to do that they did. Fantastic. Most of the quests come that way. you get that option in the quests, is that you need to carry this guy back to where the quest giver wants him, and it gives you the option to put somebody on your horse. But you can jump on my boat too. Okay, let me show you how to get around quickly the system that they've made possible. I'm just going to come to a stop here where I think I might not get attacked, and go to the map, which you can hit by your M key, and go get me out of here. And I'm going to go over here to where I've already prepared this area. It says fast travel. Hold my right mouse button, and I'm going to go there. So you're not locked into any one area, even though the map is absolutely humongous. And quests that were available, levels and levels and levels ago, you can still do, and they'll still give you experience, from what I can tell. And let me show you how we do. Let's see if there's something we can break into. Ooh, I don't want to be anywhere near him. Even though they're your similar level, they are just menacing. They're very difficult to beat. And that's where we're going to end this particular video. This has gotten a nice introduction to Assassin's Creed Origins, but it's getting on about 20 minutes. I don't want to make it too long. I did want to show you some combat and whatnot, but I might do that in the next video, another video. And we'll put that on the playlist and label them accordingly so you can go from one to the next, perhaps. Take a look at what kind of footage I have and maybe do that. I thank you for joining me. This is K9, and if you liked the video, if you found it interesting, go ahead and like it so other people can have an easier time finding this information, and consider subscribing to the channel. That way we get to the point where we can do some more powerful things for folks. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had a good time. Hope you found this interesting. Hope to see you in game sometime. Like I said, I found this Assassin's Creed Origin game very well done and very enjoyable. Been having a ball with it. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. This is K9, and I'm out of here.